Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. To get started, I'd like to just introduce Via Global Health before we get into the Warmilu products. For those of you that are new to Via Global Health, we are a global medical sourcing platform that aims to make it fast, easy, and affordable for you to source, quote, purchase, and ship products from around the world. So there's a number of ways we do that. So I'll just take you very quickly through our platform so you become comfortable and you'll know how to interact with us and find the products in the future. So obviously on our homepage here, there's a number of different things you can find information about, whether it's actually searching for products by category or just by a more common search that you're used to with something like Google. You can find out details about the company, learn more about us, or see what our customers are saying, which I'll take you through in just a moment. We also have something called buyer's guides, which again, I'll take you through in a moment, that help to inform you about purchasing. So different categories, different types of products so that you can become more familiar with those products, but also to make more informed purchases. We also have a little bit of a scale here to show our impact as a company. And this is even a little bit outdated because we don't update it in real time, but we've delivered to over 63 countries and have impacted patient lives in over 1.5 million people. Just some testimonials of some customers, featured products. Again, that's just a quick run through of the homepage, but kind of jumping into our About the Company page. This is where we want to communicate to you who we are, how we work, what we stand for, so that you can feel that you have a trust in what we do, that when you're buying our products, you can trust our products, you can trust our service. So everything we do, again, is verifying products. We help you source them, purchase them, and then ship them. So we have our logistics team that can help you ship to port or destination of your door anywhere in the world. There's no destination we can't ship to. So a little bit better explanation about who our buyers are and who our sellers are. So again, you become familiar because I know a platform like this may be a little bit new to some of our buyers especially. So a little bit more again about what we do. We're not just a website. We have everything from product training like what we're doing right now, to get insights, buyer's guides, logistics, via rewards program, which I can talk to people more offline if you have a preference, but that's where you can earn rewards for every time you make a purchase, and you can use that to redeem for discounts at a future time. So that's really just us trying to build a loyalty with you to show you that we value your business. You can watch a video more about what we do, and we have a few offices right now, obviously in the US, but also in South Africa to cater to our Africa business. But we are a global company and we have orders, as I said, into 63 countries, and we've had requests into almost every country in the world. So if you want to learn a little bit more about just what our customers have said, you can go to our testimonials page, and everything can be found here of just a little hamburger icon with all of our navigation there. If you're not familiar with that and you're expecting a nav at the top, you can find everything there very easily. So you can look at quotes from customers for honesty and strong relationships, business growth, even see some pictures of our deliveries, or just our meetings with customers that we really highly value. So again, positive impact is really what drives our company. That, of course, we're here to make sales and deliveries, but everything we do is to increase impact and to increase the better health outcomes in communities around the world. So that's really what drives us, and it drives everything we do. So our latest news, if you just want to see a little bit more to build trust in who our partners are and what we're actually accomplishing through our global network, we're happy to share that information there. You can also find in our product training videos, every video we've done for webinars like this, where we have expert panels sometimes as well. And after this video is edited, we'll put this on there as well. You can go through any of our previous product trainings for any other products that we've done these webinars for. So it's rather extensive. So it's a great resource for you. So this is again where I mentioned that buyer's guide. So we have a number of different things from oxygen therapy to temperature stability. So you can go through here. Again, it gives you a background of what the actual affliction is, some of the treatments, some of the products that you can actually search for, and find a better solution so that you're actually making informed decisions to help patients the best way possible. But back to the products, because that's what you're here for. So you can go to our shop page, and again, that's on the home page. If you just click that shop all products, that's the easiest way to do it. Or you can obviously go through the navigation. But the nice thing here is we have all of our products, but then you can use this kind of very easy filter tool. So this would be every product we have. Again, you can always go to the search at the top. We know that's the most popular item. But then you can go to maternal newborn health, you go to neonatal care there, and you can kind of keep going and drilling down into subcategories as well. But just going into there, you can see that. And then you'll see obviously some of the Warmilu products that we're going to be featured here today. So the nice thing, which I really like to do, is something like just searching. So I know this is our most popular feature, but I like to go to the search bar and just type in Warmilu. So the nice thing is you have your recommendations of what you'd be looking for there. So those are the 5 products we have on our site. If you were just to hit that magnifying glass and hit the search term, what you'd be brought to is this search result page. So the nice thing is you can now see all of the products available on the platform from Warmilu. So not just the one that you might see today, which I believe is the preterm option, but you'll see that we also have the medium size, the large size for different size of newborns, but also some of the even just InstaWarmer kind of replacement packs and things like that. So just a quick review of the product page. I'll show you just one of the other options here. The product page is really intended to give you every piece of information you could possibly need. We want to give you answers to questions so that you don't have to come to us and wait for answers. It's all readily available. We want to be as transparent and informative as possible. We're not hiding anything. We want to make sure that you are able to find information as quickly as possible. So what you'll find here is obviously the product name, the different categories it would fall into, different images. So we know this is a very popular request that we have of people want to see images of the product so they have a better feel for what it is. So that's all there. So you can also then see a short description, what the minimum order quantity is, who the seller is, where they're based, warranty term, which we know is extremely important, as well as regulatory approval is extremely important for these. Because this is a seller and a product with a lot of variations, you can then see all the different links for other products that are associated with this. So, and for example, this is for the size newborn medium. You'd also be able to go to the size newborn plus large, as well as small, and just kind of see the other options that are available there. Again, down here is really just more information. It's about informing you. So descriptions, key features, specifications, accessories, what are additional optional accessories that are available. And here is really an important part we know everybody wants to know is user manuals, spec sheets, actual guides for how to use them, certificates, so it's whether it's FDA, CE, things like that. And then again, videos, FAQs, studies, trials. It's really about giving you every piece of information you could possibly need. So once this video is done, obviously this will be added to the product page as well. So if you ever did want to go back and reference this training, you can find it at any of the Warmilu product pages. So if you do want to request a price, obviously you can just click that, fill out the form, and somebody from our sales team will follow up with you at the quickest possible time. Before I introduce our product expert to take you through a demonstration and questions, what I'd like to do is just let you know that anytime during this webinar, you can ask a question. The best way to do that is to actually, in the software for the GoToWebinar, is just type your question there. You can ask the question at any time, so if you think of it now, type it in. We won't ask those questions until the end, but we want to have as many as possible so that we're making sure we're answering all of your questions. So at any time, feel free to type your question in, and we'll cover it at the end. So with that, I'd like to introduce Grace, who's our product expert and the CEO and co-founder of Warmilu, to take you through all the products that we have on our platform.
All right, hi everyone. Warmilu has been around as selling and producing and making non-electric infant warming incubator blankets. We are honored to be here for the VIA Global Health product webinar and answering questions today. So my name is Grace Shaw, and I am the co-founder and CEO of the company and product expert because I've been involved with Warmilu day to day, executing on strategy, startup growth, the product development, regulatory clearance, getting a patent since 2012. Our team, a group of material science engineers and newborn experts, have been working on developing the best infant warming blankets since 2012. Upon our FDA clearance in 2017, we began commercializing the pack for our global audience. As you all know, warmth is a basic need like food or water, but it is not available universally around the globe. In fact, 450,000 infants are estimated to be able to be saved with basic thermal care interventions. Our team, 9 years ago now, we went across the globe to travel through India and Kenya and Uganda, in addition to traveling through resource-scarce communities in Israel to identify and see the issues firsthand. And what we found was that, especially if you're looking at a community health clinic or a practice in a rural area hours away, there are just not enough life-saving incubators. So it is pretty common to see 2 to 6 infants in an incubator meant for one, meaning that these infants could easily catch an infection from the other infants laying next to them. We also found that there was a lack of just the basics. A number of clinics did not have any incubators or even thermometers with which to use to provide thermal care. And finally, there's a lack of warmth during transport. So whether it is pre-hospital, referral transport, or getting the infant from the labor and delivery room to the newborn intensive care unit, there's a lack of warmth. And in hospitals that we provide care for, prior to Warmilu's blankets, 80 to 90% of infants could be admitted with a hypothermic body temperature, which is where the body temperature is too low. We built Warmilu IncuBlankets then with input from expert newborn care advisors. So that means over several hundred doctors, nurses, including Dr. Leah Hodor, a neonatologist who became our newborn health advisor. And after this year, she is now one of the health advisors at USAID. We looped in folks who had 20 to 30 years of experience in the field to be able to identify what folks really needed in these infant warming blankets and packs. We now are warming almost 10,000 infants born in 74 hospitals in 75 countries. We are partnered with both organizations, large and small, including Doctors Without Borders, Rotary Club, government hospitals, and medical device distributors like Via Global Health and those like you in the audience. And we are looking to grow. Warmilu manufactures each infant warming incubator blanket to have 2 parts. The first is this fabric shell, which includes advanced materials that repel and keep water and it can keep a surface clean. So this is a polylaminated urethane layer. And in here, you have a wipeable vinyl surface. So this medical vinyl is one that allows you to be able to easily clean the infant warming blanket between uses, even with a standard hospital disinfecting wipe. The second portion, so the warming pack, is the piece that our company has patented. This warming pack is able to generate warmth with a simple press of the disc. So this pack was boiled and charged about a month or so ago. But when you, the doctor or the nurse or the midwife, needs warmth most, all you have to do to generate warmth is roll this pack so that you are able to then access this disc, and then press on this disc with both thumbs like this until you hear a click. And then now there you go. You can see that warmth is now spreading throughout the blanket. This part here is providing warmth, whereas this part is still room temperature, but you are getting warmth in seconds because our warming pack contains a patented phase change system that our Warmilu engineers developed researching polymer and phase change chemistry. So you can see now this pack. So as a doctor or nurse, now you need the pack to spread the warmth. And this is now a safe 101 degrees Fahrenheit. So when you now need warmth, you place this instant warming pack into the back of a blanket like so. Then you zip up the blanket on the edge, and then you lay your infant inside of the infant blanket. So you close up the leg flap, then you close this left arm flap, followed by the right arm flap, securing your blanket with the clasp and closure of this buckle. And this blanket will now provide 5 to 8 hours of warmth. And what we have found is that our doctors really value that long-lasting heat. in addition to the fact that it never overheats and all of the materials in the blanket are completely safe and non-toxic, even if you were to puncture the warming pack. Most importantly of all, though, the warming pack is able to be reset simply through boiling or microwave. So we have that available to you to show you here today. And what that means is that each of these warming packs is able to generate 500 to 800 hours of warmth. For many hospitals, that means that a single warming pack is able to last you more than a year, or at least a single year's time frame for infant care. So I will show you now how to reset the warming pack. The key here is that you can reset the pack in whatever process is most convenient for you. So the warming pack can be reset through boiling, autoclave, and microwave. So we're going to transition here so that you can see here. This is a standard microwave. And what we are going to do is we are going to show you how to reset the pack. So you, let's say that you've been using this pack for about 8 hours. So you remove the pack from the back of the blanket like so, and then you roll it into thirds. And make sure that when you roll it, you know where this disc is. So here, the disc is in this bottom corner. You want to make sure this goes under the water line in your bowl of water, your pot of boiling water, etc. So just roll that up, and this, you are going to put it now in a bowl filled to about the 2/3 mark with water. So remember that this disc down here needs to be underneath the water line. So you put it in like this, and then simply load it into the microwave like this. Make sure that all of your warming pack is inside of the vessel. So if you are choosing to boil or to microwave the pack, just make sure that none of it is hanging over the edge of your bowl. Close your microwave, and then set your timer for 25 minutes. So here we're going, and set it on your highest heat setting. And there you go. You are now ready to reset your warming pack. At this point, so we are going to now continue with the rest of the product webinar at this point in time. And after 20 to 30 minutes, then we are going to check on the warming pack. So we just walked through the infant warming blanket and the warming pack, and how you are able to, you get with every single purchase, each of those components. The blanket, in addition to being made from rather advanced materials that are able to repel water and other bodily fluids, the blanket itself is reusable through numerous standard sterilization techniques. So whether your hospital that you're working with uses the wipeable solutions, or if you actually put the blanket into a tub of bleach to be able to sterilize it, especially with COVID-19, or if your facility has a standard hot laundering procedure, our warming blankets have been demonstrated to survive over 100, even 200 recycled washings. So the blanket is durable, and it's made in the US for those of you overseas to help warm and save infant lives. The InstaWarmer is a portable, non-electric infant warming pack. There are no batteries, no wires, and to help you, especially as you're working in the field, we provide some key features right on the warming pack. In addition to instructions on the top of the pack, we include a serial number so that if anything happens with the warming pack, which has a limited 1-year warranty, you're able to follow up with us to ask about your warming pack, and our team is able to then dive into our production history to evaluate, how best to serve you. We also include, because this is a reusable warming pack, we provide a tracking label, one where you're able to mark off the number of uses. So after you've marked off one use, you just cross it off with a normal ballpoint pen or permanent marker. Finally, the only other key thing you need to know is that in the bottom corner is the activator disc. Our team designed this so that it would be always located in the same place. This allows you to be able to quickly, instantly provide warmth because you always know where the disc is, unlike other solutions where the disc could be found floating in the warming pack itself. In addition, our warming pack is high quality and safe, able to provide warmth with non-toxic materials that we have verified by following up on their material safety data sheets, through tests, through also external third-party testing to prove that those materials are safe. So it wouldn't taste good, but if you were to puncture the pack and to accidentally ingest the materials, it is completely non-toxic to adults and infants. Each pack is long-lasting. As you know, it generates warmth for 5 to 8 hours and is completely safe for you to sleep on. And so you could leave an infant on the warming pack inside of the blanket, and the infants are safe. Because of our patent, the pack never exceeds the temperatures that would, cause any sort of burns. So this has been verified in clinical testing. Finally, besides being reusable, our warming packs, because we intimately understand these warming packs and their compositions, we have been able to tailor the warming packs in the past for other applications outside of newborn health. So we serve preterm infants, we've served adults, providing warmth to those government organizations who need to provide warming care. And finally, we have even used a variant of our warming technology to help provide warmth to various veterinary and other animal warming applications, such as for young puppies, reptiles, and even clinical testing warming and surgical warming. Our blankets are clinically validated. We had the opportunity to run a clinical trial with a teaching hospital based in Bangalore, India, called the Kempegowda Institute of Medical Sciences. We ran the test with Dr. Ranjan Pujar in 2013, and we have conducted external bacterial and autoclave sterilization testing through Pacific Biolabs. In our findings, we keep infants warm for over 5 hours. This was clinically tested and validated by a team of doctors and nurses. In addition, upon running a regression analysis on the clinical trials data, we found that no matter the weight, the gestation age, the actual age, and the gender of the infants, that those infants continued to be warmed within that 5 hour mark. And we crunched the R-squared values, and all of them were far less than 1. Our blankets, so you might be asking yourself, what are the different sizes and how are they different? So there are 3 blanket sizes that provide warmth for 5 to 8 hours. These blankets each have safe and accurate peak temperatures of 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit, the same temperature as what you might set on the inside of a $10,000 or $50,000 incubator. Each of these blankets has a wipeable interior, enabling you to easily clean them. So you don't need to, if your facility does not have a laundry site that is readily available to your care team, we've had doctors and nurses wipe these blankets safely and successfully between infants, even within 5 to 15-minute windows. And again, all of the blankets were designed under the supervision of neonatologists to be safe and easy to use, including in the bottom left and right-hand corners, our neonatologists recommended that 2 things be designed into the blanket. First, easy access to the infant heel. So you are able to put, any number of IV lines, or if you need to do a blood draw for your infant to test their blood sugar or glucose level, or withdraw blood for any other testing, you're able to do that quickly because this flap can open and release within just a matter of seconds. The other thing to note is that even when you open the blanket to check on the infant for their vitals, it allows the blanket to still warm for 5 to 8 hours. our clinical trial was run with doctors continuing to open the blanket every half-hour time window. And then finally, these blankets. So the smallest is the preterm blanket. It's about 17.5 inches tall, which is 44.5 centimeters. This is a fit for most care organizations, especially if you are dealing with a number of small patients, anywhere from 500 grams all the way up to 2,000 grams. We have larger blankets though. The medium blanket is 23 inches long, which is 58.4 centimeters tall. And then finally, we have the large blanket, which is 24 inches long, which is 61 centimeters. We also provide a 4 to 6 hours transport blanket size. This is what we call a universal blanket, and it tends to be used where you have a high volume of patients. The other blanket this blanket tends to be used in a hospital or other sort of care environment where you are trying to stabilize the infant, or you are using this as a supplemental source of warmth when the mother needs rest from kangaroo mother care. This tool, these infant blankets, are perfectly safe for moms to use and simple for them to use, just as simple as if you were trying to explain to them, how to be able to open and close the blanket, click the disc on the warming pack. So this blanket is used in situations where you have a high volume of infants and you frequently need to clean both sides of the blanket for, care in the surgical setting to make sure blood or pee or other bodily fluids must be removed. This blanket is also safe and easy to be used. The way that we're differentiated, as you can imagine, infant warming is a valuable form of care that is able to save infant lives. The way that we are differentiated from other current warming solutions is in the following ways. Warmilu provides not just instant warmth, but we are also affordable and non-electric. So even if your power generators did not kick in the case of a power outage, our warming blankets keep going. Once you turn on a pack, it's going to generate warmth for 5 to 8 hours. We are also more affordable than incubators. Most incubators start from $5,000 to $10,000. And we are, you can talk to Via Global Health, but we are an order of magnitude more affordable than most incubators. Finally, compared to skin to skin, we provide instant warmth, whereas with skin to skin, you generally must have the infant laying on the mother's chest for some time. Now, compared to other warming solutions, we are able to provide other value to the care teams, in addition to those mentioned earlier, including being able to be safe for the infants to fall asleep upon, and to be a solution that is truly portable. You can bring the infant warming blanket from room to room, from the community to the hospital setting. And now we are almost done with our structured part of this webinar presentation. We are going to present to all of you some case studies showing how we are providing warmth in safe, novel, and innovative ways, how we are changing the care landscape to make it better for doctors and nurses worldwide. The first is our Simple and Safe for Infant Transport Uganda case study. In this setting, the warming blankets were so simple and safe that midwives and paramedics, those who were working in transport, were able to use our blankets in those critical periods of transport before the infant was received at the hospital. Prior to this blanket, there was anywhere from an 80 to 90% incidence of hypothermia in this particular transport. And what we found was that one simple IncuBlanket could warm 2 to 15 infants per hour, 2 to 15, which meant that in a single one-pack charge, our blankets were warming 120 babies. This is a top-tier institute. St. Francis Nsambia has 80 beds, but their critical challenge was providing infants with warmth before they even reached the hospital. We also found that in this setting, we were used in their pre-surgical warming and post-surgical warming. We also provide flexible sizing for multiple infant births. In Uganda, one of the things we identified as a key value for our doctors was being able to fit twins, triplets, and quadruplets safely within the blankets. We ended up having a 500-gram twin with an 800-gram twin, and we were able to successfully warm those twins in a single blanket. Our flexible sizing in these blankets have saved lives. And as you look at your care organizations and facilities, we are there for these doctors and nurses because on the side, and I'll show you during the demonstration when we go into Q&A, how you can adjust the size of the blanket with the adjustable nylon strap. Finally, our blankets are safe for even the most vulnerable. In Kenya, we had the opportunity to work with the Kenya Medical Research Institute, where there we found that our blankets are safe for even the most vulnerable of babies, those babies who fit in the palm of your hand. We had a 500-gram preterm baby who was born too early, and in the time for transport, the only solution available was the Warmilu infant warming blanket. The care team of transporters and the actual nurses put the infant into a Warmilu IncuBlanket, and that baby successfully survived. They are probably now 2 to 3 years old, and we demonstrated successfully that our blankets can safely warm even the most low birth weight of babies. We've had a number of critical successes, from being featured as a game-changing innovative thermoregulation startup to watch in the Frost & Sullivan Neonatal Care Device Market Report. We've also been featured in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation-funded Nest 360 catalog. We are featured alongside other life-saving neonatal care devices, from Bempu to others, and this enables us to really have visibility to all of you and to prove that we know our stuff. We are saving lives. We have formalized partnerships with amazing organizations. So not just via Global Health, but we are working with Rotary Club, Doctors Without Borders, and we are serving 75 total countries throughout Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Finally, Doctors Without Borders is working with us. We go the extra distance. When COVID-19 hit during the early part of this year, in February to March, we had an order that Doctors Without Borders put in for the first time for the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Even when there were airplanes being held, even when our shipment was withheld in Germany on its way to the Congo, our team does what it can to serve you because infant lives are on the line. So we called, emailed, met with our U.S. Embassy cohorts here in the state of Michigan, in addition to Germany and the Congo, to be able to release those infant warming blankets so that they could be shipped to the care team, the doctors, the nurses, the midwives, saving lives out in the Congo. So the pilot was paused, but now it's kicking off again this September because of our team's fundamental vision that to help save infant lives around the globe, we need to go the extra mile to serve you. So that is us. So we are at time here, and we have the pack still going in the microwave. So we can transition here to FAQ. So we're going to welcome all of your questions now. We are excited to spread the warmth and save lives. Together, we can warm infants around the globe. Thank you so much.
There were a lot of questions that came through about things that are on the product page. So people were asking, again, about regulatory approvals, warranties, even some specifications, things like that. For everyone, just a reminder, if you do need that information, you can always reach out to us directly at sales@viaglobalhealth.com. But again, our real intention is to give you those answers available at any time on our platform. So you can see things like the full list of specifications and features, all the regulatory documents and product documents as well, case studies and trials. But again, everybody was asking mostly about regulatory and warranty. So it's all just listed there. So for those questions, we won't go back through them on the webinar itself, but wanted to just remind people where that would be. Also, a few questions about pricing, and as Grace mentioned, you can reach out to us directly on that. So again, just go to the product page for the product you want, click that request pricing, fill out a form, and someone from our team will follow up with you as quickly as possible. You can also, again, at our preference is that, but you can also email us directly at sales@viaglobalhealth.com. So I'll jump in quickly on a few questions that you may have covered, but I think people just maybe were asking for a little bit more clarification. One is just on the general kind of life cycle of the product. Is there a number of uses or a number of months and years? What would you say a life cycle is before it would need replacement?
That's a great question. It is based on the number of uses. So most of our users, even our high volume users, the infant warming blanket, because it can be used several hundred times, tends to be used throughout 2 or more years. The warming pack can be reused at least 100 times. So if you're a high volume facility, so let's say you are a specialized maternity and labor and delivery hospital with 10,000 to 40,000 births annually, that's where you find that these warming packs, you might need to order refill packs by the end of the year. So normal use, though, the warming packs can be used throughout several years. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then that probably was a nice lead in for another question just about spare and replacement parts. So there's really just the warming pack is the spare part or replacement that wouldn't be needed.
Correct.
Okay.
The replacement parts would primarily be that warming pack that goes into the back of this infant warming blanket. That is what we see most commonly. However, we do have pricing available that you can request through Via Global Health. If anything did happen to the blanket, that has not happened to date, but you're able to order each of those portions separately, whether it's the fabric shell or the warming pack itself.
Perfect.
And the quantities that you order can be as low as 1, or you can order multiple replacement packs. Yeah.
Perfect. And I know you did cover this. There's a few questions. There typically is about sterilization. And I know you mentioned the medical vinyl and that you can use kind of sterilizing wipes. But I guess some people were curious. Okay, and bleach.
Yeah.
People were curious if you could do it another way. So, for example, I would imagine this couldn't be autoclaved, but are there other ways to sterilize this beyond?
You can. So especially for facilities that have, not all facilities have large enough autoclaves, but you are able to, take your blanket and you can choose to roll it up. You can open it up like this and then sterilize it like this. By opening up your blanket and laying it, you can lay it, you can roll it and place it however it best fits into your autoclave. We've worked with extremely small clinics as well. Those that we mentioned earlier had 0 incubators. And what we found was that an alternative way to re-sterilize the blanket is actually to put it into a vat of boiling water for about 30 to 45 minutes. So that is an alternative way to reprocess and sterilize your blankets if you do not have the standard hospital washing machine. If you have a standard washing facility, you can use your hospital bleaches, just dip this whole thing in there. You're able to reprocess with other detergents that may include your hospital bleach and other antibacterials. We've also found some organizations have their own antibacterial, solutions that they prefer to use because that's what their hospital is able to procure. We understand limited supply chains. And so what we've done is there's a full list of different chemicals that are used as successful sterilization and cleaning agents for these blankets and packs. Yeah,
Okay, that's perfect. And I guess for sterilization, typically a question that's a follow through. Nobody asked
yeah,
this, but I'll
yeah.
ask it. For storage, do you have recommendations? Because there typically are questions just about humidity levels or temperature levels for storing the packs between use. Is there any recommendation for that?
Yeah. So the current, when you look at the current storage recommendations, they are a few, there are a few that we prefer. Ideally, store in a dry area. And as long as it's stored in a dry area, even if it's not temperature controlled, so let's say it's room temperature, you are fine as long as the room is dry, because otherwise before use, we do recommend that if you have a medical device storage facility that has a wetness to it, that you just wipe and sterilize the pack before use. The other thing we do recommend is trying to avoid putting your warming pack under, if you have a frozen storage area. So we do recommend that you store the warming packs at room temperature. You can store them in a chilled area, but it's best to just put them in your room temperature so that other medications or vaccines or pharmaceuticals can be stored in your cold storage area. Our warming packs and blankets do not require cold storage. Room temperature, dry storage conditions work just fine.
Perfect. Let me just see here. So I know you went through the weights, or I guess the weight for one of the sizes of the pack itself, but can you just talk about the three main sizes and kind of the weight of the infant or the age of the infant that are recommended? I think people
Yes.
had mentioned that you'd covered on the first one, but they were just curious about the other sizes as
Oh,
well.
about the second size. So in the wipeable transport blanket, this has been used successfully on infants as small as 500 grams all the way up to 2,500, 2,750 grams. So 2.75 kilos. This blanket is extremely adaptable with all of our blankets. What you're able to do is you can adjust where you place this leg flap, and then you are able to actually adjust your buckle part of your blanket. So if you look here, you are able to adjust this sizing here on the nylon webbing to pull it out more if you need a tighter fit around a smaller infant, or if you need a larger fit, you're able to stretch the band so that you are able to have a larger infant who still needs warmth, so maybe they were born preterm, to also fit in your blanket. Other care facilities have taken the liberty to put cotton swaddles. They'll put it at the bottom to help prop an infant up so that their face is just under the hood, and that enables you to help with sizing. So this wipeable universal transport blanket is large and can fit infants from 500 grams to 2,750 grams. We've also had large infants that are 12 pounds to 15 pounds who have also fit into our blankets as well. However, they fit into the large size, the newborn plus blanket, and they can fit into this wipeable transport universal blanket.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready with the
I
warmer, or
am.
do you want to go? Because we have
Yeah.
a few more questions, but I'd rather go to
Yeah.
this, and then we can open up more
Okay.
questions.
Perfect. So I'm going to get out of this presentation portion, and let's make sure you can see the microwave. So when you've had the chance to sit through 25 minutes, now you want to open your microwave and inspect your warming pack. So remove your bowl, it has hot water, so please demonstrate caution when pulling the bowl of water out from the microwave. It is hot to the touch. So we are going to assist with removing the warming pack by using this cloth. And now you are able to inspect your warming pack. So when you have successfully reset your warming pack, all contents of the warming pack will be perfectly crystal clear, like water. If you see any hard crystals or any solids, if you feel the pack and there are any solid pieces, you must put the pack back into the microwave for another 2 to 5 minutes. So we recommend starting off with 2-minute increments. So now pull out your pack, and this is where you're doing your inspection. I have dimmed the light so you can see it is crystal clear. There should be 2 layers. This bottom is sodium acetate trihydrate. This upper portion is our thermal buffer, which protects and keeps and limits the temperature of our warming pack. As you can see, even when I shake the warming pack like this, there are no solid pieces in the bottom portion of the pack. You also may want to lay down the pack like so. So we will do that so you can see this. Dry off your warming pack. And then if you touch the bottom of your warming pack, I do not feel any crystals. So all of it is crystal clear like water. So it is now ready to cool down to room temperature. So the last phase, to prepare your pack for the next infant use, you would then lay your pack with the disc on this portion hanging off the edge of a table like this. So if you can see here, it is hanging off the edge of a table like this. This pushes all of the thermal buffer to this portion of the warming pack, so it never gets in the way as you are trying to click the disc. The pack now must sit at room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then the pack is ready to go for your next infant. And we'll close this microwave. So any questions here on the reset process? Because this is what you would do even if you boiled the warming pack. Boiling takes about 20 to 45 minutes. You would have this pack in a pot of boiling water for that period of time. You would also, in the autoclave, that's about a 20 to 30 minute process. So any questions?
Well, you just answered the first question that a few people had about what if I don't have a microwave? So that's a perfect segue there. There were a couple questions just about temperature. Once you reset the warming pack, is there a way to control or set or change the temperature, or is it basically set to a predetermined temperature that is recommended?
It is set to a predetermined temperature that is recommended. And so our team, can you hear me okay, Brian?
Yep.
Yes, our engineering team identified and worked with experts in thermoregulation to pick those temperatures to be able to heat the infant warming blanket. So we've had the opportunity to use thermal simulations in addition to now serving hospitals and clinics around the globe to pick the optimal temperature to provide safe, non-electric warmth. Yeah.
And are you able to provide what that temperature is? Or
yes.
I guess, yeah.
Yes. So the temperature that is actually inside of the warming pack is closer to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the back of the warming blanket, it is on average 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So the back with the warming pack is about 39 degrees Celsius. The portion near the infant is about 37 to 38 degrees Celsius. So it is warm, just like an incubator.
Perfect.
Yes.
And I only really, so again, if anybody has any further questions, I only have one more that's in the list. So if you do have final questions, now is the time. But I know you had talked about that this would essentially replace an incubator in some ways. A lot of people are asking, does it truly replace an incubator, or is it a complement to it?
It's a complement.
That eventually, okay.
Great question. So our goal at Warmilu is to help extend the amount of the reach of warmth. And so there's definitely other facets to a standard incubator, whether it's oxygenation or having dials to change the temperature within the incubator. Our warming blankets do not have that sort of dial. So as a result, where we fit in is in those situations where you need portable warmth, because you can't necessarily move that $10,000 incubator to the community located 3 hours away. So we're able to provide a tool that you can use before the infants get to the hospital, as you're moving the infants within the hospital, and also when all of the incubators are full. This is an additional source of warmth, in addition to other methods such as incubators, radiant warmers, even kangaroo mother care. When the mother needs to rest or take a shower or eat, this is a way that you're able to expand the different number of warming solutions your doctors and midwives and nurses have to provide care to the infant.
Perfect. And I know you just mentioned, incubators and radiant warmers. A question just came in about, can this work in conjunction or complementary with phototherapy treatment?
Yes, we have been used in conjunction to phototherapy treatment. So what we have found is that some of our doctors, so this is where they take the blanket and they might just lay the infant so that they are open underneath the radiant warmer, but we're able to provide a source of warmth as the infants are getting phototherapy for jaundice and other conditions. So they're typically laying right here, right under the blue phototherapy light.
That's perfect. Well, it looks like
Okay.
that is all the questions. Grace, is there anything that we didn't cover that you may want to just share at the end that you may not have covered? You were very thorough, but we'll just open the floor in case something popped in your mind.
Thank you so much, Brian. Just anytime you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Via Global Health. Warmilu and Via Global Health have a strong partnership, one that we are excited about because it enables us to reach another 60 countries. So if you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out by email or on WhatsApp to our contacts within Via Global Health if whatever information you find on the website is not enough. So please feel free to always reach out with questions and feedback. We are a highly responsive care team, and we enjoy working with you out in the field. And that's that. The only other thing that I would add is spreading the warmth to save lives is a fundamental part of Warmilu's mission. Our goal is in the next 5 years to be able to successfully warm over 1 million infants around the globe. And we hope that you'll all be part of our mission to do that. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Grace. And I'm going to just bring it back again because you did mention about contacting us for quotes or anything like that. Again, we do have all the information there. So if you want to look through all the Warmilu products, you can find them there on the platform just by searching Warmilu or IncuBlanket or InstaWarmer. But you can also go to the product page, find your information, and then request that pricing there. That's the easiest way for someone from our team to know who they're contacting, how to contact you, and what product you're interested in. So with that, Grace, I'd really like to thank you for your time, and I'd like to thank everyone on the line for your questions and for your attention. And we look forward to you on the next Via Live product training series.